So I feel eager, Abraham feels eager, and yet when Abraham feels eager, it's way more eager than I've ever eagered. So I'm sat here in a depth of appreciation for the eagerness of my becoming.
But you know, when you think about what we were saying earlier about when you feel satisfaction, it's ours. So you don't know for sure. In fact, you're not even really accurate about that, because any emotion is a translation, a physical translation of vibration. And so nobody really even knows if what they're seeing in this room is what everyone else is seeing in this room. Anything that you're translating, you don't really know how anyone else is translating it. But you can be certain that when you feel those high-flying, powerful emotions, that you are feeling something very close to what the source within you is feeling about the same thing. Very close.
So on the Caribbean cruise in March, we borne witness to a prolific energy rush that this physical vessel struggled seemingly to contend with, or was more trying to acclimate to the energy.
That's what asking for something that you're not quite ready for gets you. That's what trying to force something with the power of your mind before you're vibrationally ready accomplishes. In the early days, you should have seen Esther when she was receiving us, because Jerry was asking for more than she was really ready for. Her body was a shaking mess. She could not contain the energy. She wasn't acclimated to it. And he was summoning by the power of his desire, and she was willing to allow him whatever he wanted from Abraham through her. But she was not physically, her vessel was not physically up to speed with it. And so, same thing. In other words, it took her a little while to acclimate. That's all right.
So the basis of the question then is, how can I continue to amp up the energy, but also continue to acclimate to...
By understanding that you're not amping up the energy, you're accepting the energy that's amped.
Yes.
Because when you try to be
Perfect.
the amper, it's like when there's current passing through the walls of your building, you plug in a receiver to the current. You don't plug in an equal current. You'd cause an explosion. You are the receiver of it. And it's pulsing, so then you transmit and receive. In other words, it's quite a dance that we're all doing together. But don't try to amp. That's a little too heady. Just realize that in step 1, you did all the amping. And in step 3, you're doing the receiving of what you're ready for. Just say things to yourself that mean things. Esther discovered that when she started saying things like, I'm ready, or I'm willing, or I want this now, that she just sort of softened her perspective. So she wasn't meeting us like this. She was allowing us into her experience.
So what was prolific for me in that experience was to, in the moment, feel the inspiration of the question flowing to me, and near instantaneous, amongst 1,100 people, you flick across the audience without any air of hesitation whatsoever and say, you are the one.
You know what we knew? That's that receptive mode all the way over here into manifestation. You were ready to be ready to be ready to be ready, and then it was time, and before it happened, you knew it, and so did we. Just like just now. You felt the timing of that too. We want to ask you softly and respectfully, why are you wanting to think it through with such precision? Why not just say things like, when the timing's right, or I'll take it as it comes, or...
There's a dichotomy going on in terms of realizing instantaneous manifestation versus the joy of the journey, the joy of the becoming. And I have the delight of doing both, but...
But let's think about it. We love this question. It's perfect. There is a manifestation in every moment. Every moment is a manifestation. And the manifestation is to the extent that you are ready and able to allow it. So every moment is a manifestation. So let's just say you've sidled up to your vortex and you're ready to receive, and you receive the manifestation of a thought. And then let's say that that thought becomes practiced with you, and then you receive the manifestation of an impulse. And then let's say you receive the manifestation of more impulses and more impulses and more impulses. And then the next logical step is the manifestation of the full-blown with more of what you want in it. But no creation is ever really complete. The manifestations continue to come to you. So it's being satisfied with the manifestations as they come in the form in which they come that helps you. And it's the being discontent because it's only a thought. It's not a car in my garage, or it's only an impulse. And so that's what slows it down. It is that determination to make it more than you were ready to receive, and then being a little upset at yourself for not being more ready to receive more. Where if you're satisfied in what you are receiving, that's where happily ever after comes from. I got it. Yay, it was so good. Ooh, I got this too. I like it so much. I like this too. Oh, and this manifestation is way good. But have you noticed that so often when the thing that you've been wanting actually really shows up in all the ways you thought it would, it doesn't feel like some big, amazing thing like you were dreaming about. It's just the next logical step. That really bothered Esther a lot. Oh, when I really, really want it, it can't come. But when I'm ready and it doesn't matter that much, then in it comes. Yeah, exactly.
I have a desire to understand what was the difference in this prolific energy rush in the exchanges that we've shared together. What was it about that moment that had me just so viscerally...
We want to say about every exchange we've had with you, and there have been a lot of them, is that your desire, because it is so profound and because you focus so much, is always vibrating just ahead of your ability to allow the fullness of it. But that's a wonderful thing, because that means you're out there and ready, but you could soften it. You could take it as it comes. You could deliberately and consciously get your mindset that I'm going to take it as it comes. I'm going to take it as I'm ready to receive it. Because you know, your inner being, oh, you're really going to like this.
I usually do.
Your inner being understands not only what you're asking for and where it is, but your inner being understands your readiness. So your inner being is not delivering ahead of your readiness. And so what you said earlier, and we were talking about the two currents, that's you trying to amp it up. But if you just realize that your inner being is offering it in accordance with your readiness, and that's got to be enough, because any more than that would short circuit you. Esther and family were in Rome, and in the hotel, maybe if you have had the experience, there was an electrical circuit that looked exactly like the ones that they have back home, but it wasn't. And when Esther's little sister plugged her curling iron in, it set her hair on fire, because the current was not adjusted to the curling iron. Your inner being will not set your hair on fire.
I think I get it. I'm going to work on that one. Following up from that, in the weeks following the cruise, I've had this profound experience and lesson in feeling and exuding.
Lesson meaning you've learned, or lesson meaning someone's projecting something to you that they want you to learn? It's an important distinction.
A lesson that I've learned.
All right.
Lesson that I felt into with regards to unconditional love for another.
Go on.
And
so we just don't use the word lesson, because it usually implies there's a teacher trying to assert knowledge into you, and it's not like that. So lesson just meaning exposure to life that helped me to understand something.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I wonder if Abraham can shed light upon the sweet spot of living in the present moment, living in the now experience, following that inspiration, living this emotionally potent life, and yet having zero expectation about the outcome.
Well, we don't want you to have zero expectation about the outcome, because you know too much. You understand the laws of the universe. You know that you're a born creator. You know that you've put all kinds of things in the vortex. You know the potential is enormous. Everyday life reminds you of what you want. So we're not ever encouraging you to attempt the impossible of having zero expectation of the outcome, because you have anticipation of the outcome. We want you to feel satisfied with the outcome as it comes out. I want you to be satisfied with a part of the outcome that is outcoming right now. Maybe right now the outcome is an idea. I received a thought. Maybe the outcome is an impulse to act on it. That's the outcome. But when we say you never get it done, there is no ultimate outcome. But there are plenty of things that you can expect along the way. In other words, not zero expectation. I expect this to be fun, and I expect myself to get better at it, and I expect to like it, and I expect to feel satisfied, and I expect to meet other people that feel the same way, and I expect to get our juices flowing, and I expect to have more fun when I'm with somebody else than when I'm alone, and I expect to really get better at this, and I expect to get better control of my vibrational balance, and I expect to wake up feeling better tomorrow than I felt today when I woke up, and I expect my body to maintain with me. I expect my vitality to be commensurate with the thoughts that I'm flowing, and I expect to really love this life, and I expect to have a really good conversation with Abraham today, and I expect to have a delicious meal following this segment. Expectations are a wonderful part of your pleasure. Your whole vortex, it is expectation. Your whole vortex is expectation.
Yes, there was a clarifying experience in terms of discovering newfound desire and the launching of that newfound desire. Love that. Cool.
Esther the other day found what she thought was a new desire, and as she followed it further than she was ready for, the desire fizzled out, and it actually aggravated her and upset her balance. But when it upset her balance, it caused her to offer more rockets of desire, and after about a week, it turned out to be a really incredible clarifying experience for which she has great appreciation. But during the process of the unfolding, it was unsettling.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Life experience through the singular lens of self.
No such thing as singular lens of self. You're a plural, you always have been and you always will be, because there's a lot of us looking through your eyes. So don't try to get rid of us, you can't. That's why we say we. Esther remembers thinking how weird that was. We? She had friends that called us Abrahams. And it was really hard. The editor went crazy. Is Abraham singular or plural? Because our readership is not going to know. You're offering a name, Abraham, and then you're using plural terminology around it. And Esther said, get used to it. It's like saying the world is. The world is. Well, the world is sort of plural.
What is it about connection to other people, feeling love for other people, that seems to be so deeply ingrained within our psyche that when the melding of minds, when the melding of two minds or more come together, it feels absolutely incredible. Isn't going to justify it, but it is an ineffable experience.
What you're describing is what it feels like for you when in your aligned state you come together with someone else, because it's not that singular lens, it's that plural lens. Esther noticed a while back, and this speaks to it, it will clarify this, that something might happen, maybe something at work or something in the community or something somewhere, and she would have a negative knee-jerk reaction to it. And in her mind, she would want to tell that person about her displeasure with their actions or with what had happened. But when she's standing in front of them, her inner being is loving them so much that she can't even find the words, because she's plural and she's dominantly love. And even though there was something that they really need to know that they've done that they shouldn't do, she can't come forth in a punishing or negative way face to face. Now, she might be able to do it in an email or even on the telephone or even to someone else about them. But face to face, you are more likely to love. Because, first of all, you're engaging more than your inner being, you're engaging theirs. And sometimes, when you come face to face with someone, even if they're disconnected, you're tuned in, their inner being then tunes into you. That's why you call it ineffable. It is indescribable. It is not quantifiable. So much of that which is non-physical is difficult or impossible to quantify through your physical terms. But life gives you more and more opportunity to do that. And that's why life just becomes more and more delicious.